Okay, we're live, Fernando.
Yes,
How you doing, man? All right. It's good to have you on. So yeah, it's the first time we met. So a lot of the other guests on my personal friends with. So I noticed that you were recommended as one of the top POD people to follow in 2020 by Printify with Wholesale Ted, Justin Cena, a couple of other people. Like, what is your background? How did you get going in ecom? Just so that I can get to know you and everyone else on the call. Like, how did you get into this?
Well, thanks. First of all, thank you for having me. And yes, I have forgotten about that one. Actually, it's actually they have done it for like 2 years in a row in Printify. I honestly don't know why they gave me that honor, but I as well. Yes, I mean I began in e-commerce literally in '98 on eBay back in the day. You know, when probably a lot of people watching this probably didn't even know if there was a computer, but I'm a toy collector. Okay, I collect toys. So in eBay, I found a way to expand my collection because I used to live in South Texas, very small town, 100,000 people, give or take, and it was impossible to find good collectible toys. So I started getting there, and before I realized, I started to sell because my collection went too big, more than I wanted, and I was in the border with Mexico, so I could get Star Wars action figures in Spanish. And people, collectionists, they were like, "Oh my God, like, international card, awesome, let's get him." And I was selling them left and right. But I just had a family business, so I never really, took this into. At the time, there was no Facebook, there was no tools, there was absolutely nothing to grow your business like today we can, right? We can run, numbers and see what is selling, what is not, and we can grow a business way faster. At the time, we were like literally used, guessing. And you were making $2,000-3,000, and it was like, oh my God, you're killing it on the internet, and it's like, well, that doesn't make a living, right?
Yeah.
So in 2003, I went to work in corporate, and every time I needed money, I was selling always online. And 2012, I learned that you can make money on Facebook, and we started selling, toys again. And one thing to another, and before I knew, I was on Amazon. And before, then I got laid off because the oil and gas industry collapsed around 2015. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm going full time on e-commerce. I have always liked it since I was, pretty much in college. I have always enjoyed it. So I'm saying, yeah, I'm going for it. And in 2015, 2016, I started selling print on demand products, because first I started selling on a platform called Amazon Custom inside of Amazon, which is customization products. Before, at the time, only Sasso and a few Shopify stores were able to do customization. I was able to sell them on Amazon. It was very rustic tool, so it was not very in. And even if you are allowed to customization, people will send files that were like really crappy. So it was always about reaching customers, getting them back, and said, "Hey, the picture you sent me doesn't work, or it's too small, or it's copyrighted," and it was a mess. So eventually, I joined something called Merch by Amazon, which I did pretty good. But I realized that going royalty was not the way to grow your business. And I ended up going to Shopify, and it's when I started getting to know all these people like Theo and oh my God, I forgot his name, Chris Blair, and all these other guys, and then I went to Etsy because I found the opportunity that you could do very good marketing on Etsy, and expand your niche. And actually, it was a cheaper way for me to build a niche, test the product without having to spend expensive Facebook ads. And then if the niche worked, I will take him into Shopify for another store that I could scale and eventually look to sell. And at one point I realized that I had over 5,000 designs. That it was just accumulating dust. I was like, okay, what do I do with all this junk? And it's when I found Printables, and I just got a couple of my VAs and said, hey, start looking at options and what we can do with all these designs, and we can repurpose them, and let's start using them on Printables. And so we started making design we started converting some of our designs into SVGs. So for all those people with crickets machines and stuff like that, they started selling really well. We started using some other like designs on animals, stuff like that. We started making, we started making digital sticker packs, and one thing led to another. And before I knew, I was making $5,000 every single month, just recycling my old junk drawer, and it led to a business. And when the pandemic hit, and print-on-demand facilities were not supplying the products, is when my digital products, literally just boom. It's like, oh, okay, we have a business going, and now I have 2 full-time BAs literally creating products for my stores.
Right.
Stuff.
So yeah, like I've seen a big explosion in the printable stuff and digital downloads and stuff like that. Like, do you just go with SVG and design stuff, or have you got any kind of abstract downloadable stuff that you sell?
Oh no, now we have we sell book interiors, we sell agendas, we sell coloring pages for kids, we sell like trackers like for diabetes, for the blood, like wedding planner stuff, different games that you can play with paper, like tic-tac-toe and stuff like that. We make them cute and stuff like that. I mean, if it's something we can make that it can be downloaded in PDF, we probably have added it to the store. And it's just a matter of, okay, like, what can we do with this? And then we are always looking for, okay, what is selling, what is not selling, and we are always adding a new product in there, and we're always testing. But literally, the one I haven't really gone as deep as I would like to is the wedding one, because me being a male, and and my staff being American, we have been really being able to nail it. The taste is completely different. So we are not very successful there. But when it comes to the kids' entertainments and time management and mindset, those ones we are doing really good.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah, and that's a great tip as well about converting your old designs, because I'm sure there's a whole load of people that have just got tons of designs sat on their computers doing nothing. Like when you do you package them all up together, or do you sell individual? Like, say you were selling designs, would you package them up or sell them individual? Or
I have them both ways. Like, for example, like if it's a coloring book, for example, I sell them like in a bundle with, like, let's say 8 pages. But I also have in those ones I sell them like for $3.99 or something like that, right? But like, if let's say I have a bundle of unicorns, a bundle of mermaids, a bundle of doggies, a bundle of parrots, and let's say I have 10 bundles of 8 each. I will bundle them all together again, and now I say, okay, now you can have them all for like $12.99 or $15.99, depends on the volume. Sometimes even all the way to $19.99. And in my listing for my independent, I tell them, hey, you can have this one for $3.99, but if you want to get all these, I put in a big image in my carousel. Just click at the link in the description. The description is a link for this bundle, where you can get in for like this amount of money, and it's like having an upsell, right? And some people say, well, yeah, you know what? Just for an extra couple of bucks, I will have like 100 pages for my kids to use color, and in different topics, they go and buy it. So every time I do like a bundle, I do like a bigger bundle, and that is like my cart value increase. And every single one of my listings always have an image or two that tries to convince the customer to go look for the better value one, even though they were probably never going to use them. Especially in the SVG world and stuff like that, all those crinkle ladies, they love to buy SVGs. They never use them. They only use the one that literally the only one they wanted to use was the one they were going to buy. And those ones, the SVGs, I only sell the one off. Okay, like if it's like for a little shirt, those ones I only sell one off. But then I said, okay, you can find out this bundle of 20 for this amount, and they go and buy them. But I know that I can sell them at an extreme discount, because I know they were never intending to use. This is just wastable money for them, and more money for me. A lot of people always debate, like, Fernando, can you make money from selling something at $3.99? When you can sell a shirt for 20, and I was telling them it's the same profit. It's exactly the same profit. I can, with a shirt on 20, I'm gonna make about $4 profit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
After ads and costs and shipping and all this stuff, it's the same amount of money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it just looks smaller. It's a lot more difficult to brag that you made $1 million on on Printables than to brag that you made $1 million in sales on print on demand, because you can get there like 5 times faster.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
The same
Yeah,
money.
like what, like, say you, like, how much would you sell an individual SVG for?
Anywhere from $3.99 to $5.99, depends what it is.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So would you run Etsy ads for that?
Oh, I do, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're also a lot cheaper. There's no competition. They're a lot
Right.
cheaper as well. I mean, I can convert like around 70 cents per sale, but remember, everything they have there is clean profit. So
Yeah,
yeah, and usually when somebody buys from you, they usually favor your store and they come back for more. So it's
yeah,
not.
right. Yeah, yeah. So do you use SEO or anything like that?
Well, in Etsy, you have to do very heavy SEO,
Yeah,
because I mean, yeah, you can do the keywords and the tags, that we found on Etsy, but Etsy is very dependable on Google. So your descriptions have to be very good with SEO. So you want to be found on Google, which can drastically increase your sales. So that's what you want, definitely. Yes. If all you want to do is, I mean, but you don't really have to if you only want to depend on the Etsy platform, which, I mean, is still huge.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. So, like, you could basically get a top selling SVG. You could have your single listing, then you could have a smaller pack, then you could have a huge pack, and it could almost be like a funnel like that. And
Yeah.
then you could take that top selling SVG and possibly put it into other packs as well. Like you're saying, if people are just going
Yes.
with leverage. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I could have like the love SVG pack, right? And it could be like a bunch of love messages, and then I could have like the Mother Day packs, and like I said, okay, 405 that were in the love would fit into the Mother's Day pack, and I can say, okay, move this, but I can move on the ones, and like one design could be probably in the 3 to 4 different packs, depends on where they fit.
Yeah.
And so yes, you can recycle your designs over and over and over again in different packs.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's just amazing. You can do like literally anything with them.
Did you come into Etsy did you start on Etsy doing digital stuff, or did you come in with, you started with your toys and stuff, was it first?
I started with Print on Demand on Etsy. I mean, Etsy, I started about 3 years ago or so. I mean, I'm starting to get confused with the dates now.
Yeah.
I was on Shopify, and and I was on Amazon, and but I always felt like I needed something in the middle, like that it was like organic traffic, but at the same time it was not Amazon that had you always in their grasp, because Amazon can really choke you, in terms of profits.
Yeah.
And it's always, they're very controlling and stuff like that. And one day Etsy announced that they were partnering with Printful, and I said, okay, that sounds good. So I went and looked into terms and conditions, and it seems like Etsy had found a loophole, because Etsy is all about handmade, and they said, okay, in the print on demand industry, you design it. Remember, your staff designs them, which at the time I qualified because I had a full-time designer on my books. I said, okay, member of my staff is my designer. That works for me. It qualifies as handmade. So all you have to do is disclose that you have a third party, company doing the production, because you don't have the means to do so. So I said, okay, so that's how Etsy and Printful found the loophole to meet inside the handmade. And I went like everybody else. I went into Etsy, but everybody was selling the same crap, and Printful is extremely expensive. So I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work at all. So I was not really making any money. I was competing against the same junk that everybody was competing. And so being a Shopify store owner, I started looking for ways to integrate my Shopify store into Etsy. And it's when I found that there were a couple integrations and a couple of shortcuts that you could create. And I started now listing products that were not on Printful, but were print on demand. And I was looking for products that have little to no competition because a lot of the handmade people were not making them. And that is when I started finding like, the laser edge tumblers or the koozies or, the mats and stuff like that I could get from like companies like T-Launch or Custom Cat or Shine On, like Hewary. And I was like being able to triangulate my Shopify store into Etsy, and it's where I started getting, like a little edge and literally having no competition. Eventually, Etsy started learning that they needed to do better marketing. So they started allowing us to have a Facebook pixel. They started allowing us to have a Google Analytics, install us there as well. And they allowed us to, to start grabbing emails. And that's when it got really interesting for me, because then is when I said, okay, now I can open an Etsy store, install my pixel, a brand new pixel, open a brand new niche store, and start testing products without having to open a Shopify store. So then I went into Etsy, I ran my products, I, did a few ads and here and there, and started grabbing every single sale I was getting an email. And then they allow you to actually do a newsletter there, so that you can say, hey, you want to subscribe to my newsletter? Here's the link, and I'll give you a 15% coupon as soon as you sign up. And now your email list was growing more. And, little by little, I started making sales in that little niche. And I'm like, oh, look, I have already made 150 sales, 200 sales. My pixel is full of data now, because all the people that went into every single of my listings, I know what they did. Now I can take that pixel, I can put it in a Shopify store, I can take those 200 emails, create a lookalike audience, and now I can take these designs and make a Shopify store go, and it's like, boom. The moment you turn on the store, it's like it's already warm, it's ready to go. And without me having to spend, hundreds of dollars on ads just to get likes and shares and crap, it's ready. The pixel is there. So it made it a lot simpler for me to open a Shopify store and just go. And now it's what I teach, and that's what I do. It's like, you want to open I believe that you want to open a Shopify store, but you're not really sure your niche, go on Etsy and just test it and then jump.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because there's pros and cons, right? Like the good thing is with Etsy, you got the built-in trust and factor and everything. Whereas if you just open a Shopify store, you are like, nobody knows you or anything, and
exactly,
you're building from the ground up, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, once you go, you still do your customers here. Now we have our own store, and Etsy actually allows you to put your Shopify store domain, link in your About Us. They just don't want you driving traffic to your store, but they allow you to actually say it to give credibility that you actually have an online presence. It's kind of an oxymoron there, but they allow you to do so. So it helps as well. But yeah.
Do you use the Etsy? I forget the name of it. You can have a website through Etsy, can't you?
Yeah.
No, we tested it a while back, and it just looked horrendous.
Yeah, I honestly saw absolutely zero purpose. I rather have a Shopify store. I mean, it's like, if I'm gonna put time and effort, why do that way? I looked into it. I think I paid it for 1 month, and I just looked around and I was like, yeah, there is no value. So I moved on.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Yeah. So do you just roll with one Etsy store now, or have you got multiple stores?
I have multiple stores, but I have them under, an LLC and different names, because, sadly, when you're public, people like to bother your stores a little bit.
Yeah.
So I have like 1 or 2 that are open still in my name, but they are really barely selling, because, I mean, they always get someone who wants to, give you a hard time, and they report you for absolutely nothing. So my stores are now, based on, an LLC, because sadly you cannot be public, even when you want to.
Yeah, right, totally. Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get into printables and they were brand new, like, what you got any advice for people just coming into it? Obviously, I know you've got some training and stuff, but I would like I had Chris Blair on the other day, and he was saying about a good tip I never heard before. He's about trickling products in as well instead of just filling a store up.
What do you mean?
He said he always seemed to think that instead of just like putting 500 products on your store, it's best to just each day put 5 or 10 products on and just
Yeah.
just keep building them in. Like,
And Etsy hates inconsistency. And we have tested this. Like a good friend of mine, Jason Husgay, and myself, we have tested it multiple times, where we have gone and uploaded 100 listings and do nothing with them, and we don't make a sale. But then we go and make 2 listings today, 2 listings tomorrow, 2 listings the next day. And we can have them all in draft if we want to. And when we start, doing that, like little by little, getting them live, sales come and come and come and come and come. And and then we start going like every 2-3 days and uploading 2-3 more, and still the sales are consistent. But if we stop doing that, like for a week or two, sales go to zero. Literally, bam, zero.
right.
And as long as we don't upload, the sales are gone. And then we go again 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Sales start coming. So we have done that like in a time span of 3 to 4 months, just to see how that affects. And we have seen that yes, if you are not consistent with your store, they don't like it. They don't care. You go and upload 500 designs today and you don't come back for a month. They're like, yeah, you're not serious with your business.
Right.
You are not. You're here. You're just here just to sell. You're not here to give a good customer experience. You're not here to you're not into handmade. It's like you're not quality product. You're like just a mass uploader.
Yeah.
And that's what all those tools that say like, yeah, we will mass upload for you on Etsy. Yeah, you're just burning your business. That doesn't work like that.
Right. Yeah, that's a great tip, man. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and what about someone's just put it there in the comments about republishing? Because I've heard that people republish their listings a lot to try and get a better ranking. Have you tried that?
What do you mean by that?
You can republish it, can't you? If you go into your listings, you can. I don't know if it's called or relist it. Basically, you pay for the listing again, and it.
Yeah, we relist. Relist is a waste of money.
Right.
You don't relist. You don't relist ever. Okay. Every time you make a sale, Etsy automatically releases your listing. Right. It goes. It charges you again the 20 cents, and it goes again and again and again and again. If it hasn't sold for I think 4 months, is when they do the automatic relisting. But if it hasn't sold in 4 months, it's never going to sell. Right, the juice of the SEO and all the opportunities that that Etsy had on your listing are gone. Right, it's like and that happens in every single one of the marketplaces. Right, Etsy, Amazon, and everything else. When you have a new listing, they give it the new listing juice. They show you the newly listed and blah 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 for a couple of hours, and then they drop, and then they go into SEO process. And every time they show it, they have a counter, like a little internal counter. How many times have I shown this product? You get to see those on Etsy. You don't really see that much on those on Amazon, but you see them on Etsy, and they're like, okay, we have shown this design so many times, right? And it has sold this so many times. Okay, this is a good product. They keep showing it because it keeps selling. Now he has shown this listing so many times, and he never sold. And guess what? And worse of that, we have shown it and never got a click, right? To Etsy is like, okay, real estate is very expensive. First page, second page, third page, we want to have stuff that sells. We are not going, your 20 cents are worthless to them to continue showing something else, right? They want to show something that is going to get clicks or sales. Now, clicks are not as good as sales. Sales are king, right? That's what you get to the first page. So if you can release all you want, but if Etsy already determined that this listing is dead, because it has been shown so many times with so little, not even clicks or not even stuff, it is just wasting. So the best thing to do is remove the listing and upload it again. And even if you're already in 3 months old, and you already have been shown so many times, sometimes it's best to just say, okay, it's time to kill it, release it again with different keywords, different strategy, different images, And it takes about 28 days to actually, index on Etsy. So for the first 21st 8 days, it's going to be very hard for you to know which keywords are the ones that are working. But after the 28 days, you can go in every listing. You go to the settings, and you go to the, of every single independent listing. You will see all the data for that listing. How many times has it been shown? What keywords are being clicked? Why it's showing in the algorithm. You have all the data that you can really go and you can begin tweaking based on that, and you will start seeing that and you wouldn't understand how the keywords work. That keyword stuffing doesn't really help for absolutely nothing. That you will see that Etsy takes one word sometimes from the title and one word from the description and one sometimes from the tags, and they make the whole connection. Says, okay, this is how they find it, and it's when you actually find new keywords, for your listing, and you're like, oh, look, this actually keyword. I mean, long tail keyword is what is getting me the shows. Like the other day, I was helping one of my students, and she was selling tank tops in the fishing, niche, and she had a fish, and she was saying a fish tank top, and into her keywords, so we noticed that she was running ads, but she was getting zero sales, and she was getting like literally not even spending money. So it was very weird. He had a lot of clicks, he had a lot of everything, but no sales at all. So we went to see what was the winning keyword, and we saw that the winning keyword by literally 80% of all the keywords being hit was fish tank, because the word tank top and for fish, the fish tank was giving in the results. So she was showing where all the fish tanks her tank top was showing. So people were just clicking on it out of curiosity, but there was zero interest, zero intentions on purchasing, because they were looking for fish tanks, not for tank top. And so we had to completely change that way the listing look, because the word fish and the word tank could not be in the same listing. Otherwise, we were going to continue to go into that wrong search query, and that was killing the opportunity to sell something.
Yeah, got you totally. Yeah, so it basically just wasn't lining up with what people are typing in for the search bar. Like, yeah, right. So, I mean, a great strategy for somebody coming in new would be let's say they got a ton of designs on their computer. They convert all their designs to SVGs. They start trickling in their listings day by day, doing their best at their tags, keywords, and stuff like that. Start running ads, and then look at the ads and look at what's actually being clicked on, and are you making sales, and are you getting Are you getting a high clicks on one listing but no sales? Are you getting no clicks? And what are the keywords they're clicking? And then basically refine your tags and refine your listings and hone in on what's working, and give it 28 days.
Yeah, you have to give it time. You have to give it time to index in the algorithm. Otherwise, you will not get the right data. And you start changing keywords all over all the time, is just gonna get completely confusing. Remember, at the same time, you are tweaking for Etsy, but the main goal is to tweak for Google, right? So and Google hates when the things change all the time, and they say, okay, to hell with this, so you want to be always be able to do that. Milo, you have a bunch of comments, so I just noticed.
Yeah, I'll read about them if you want.
No, it's okay. That's fine. It was you. I mean, you're the host. I just was like, wow, okay. When you mentioned ads, and I just gonna give probably the nugget of the conversation is that a lot of people always tell me ads don't work on it. Let me show me your ads, and they show me every single listing is in the ad, and I'm like, okay, what did your ad spend? I'm earning $5 a day. I'm like, on how many listings? 200. I'm like, brilliant. It's like, why? Because it's all my listings, and they told me $5 budget a day, and I'm like, okay, why? It's like less than a cent.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it was like 2.5 cents per listing. 500, yeah, 500 or something, yeah. 2.5 cents per listing is your ad budget, and it takes about 50 cents an average per click, or something like that. And it's in Etsy, so it's like you literally just bought about. That's how no, it's cheaper. It's about 17 cents, about 20 cents an average. So you just bought, with $10, with $5, you literally just bought, 25 clicks on 200 listings. So, and you wonder why you're not selling, so when you run an ad for $5, it's literally no more than 2 to 3 products. It's all you do, 2 to 3 products in that list, in that ad. Ideally one, but you go and run the ad and you get the data that you need, and you analyze the data as soon as it comes, and it's like, okay, which one is killing my budget? What keyword is killing my budget? And you find that keyword that is eating your budget. And once you find that, then you said, okay, this one is eating the $5, because there's always going to be one keyword that is eating the most of the budget, that is getting crazy for all the 3 listings. Mm-hmm. And you go and look at them, and then you say, okay, this is the one. Is this keyword relevant to my listing? If it is relevant and it's getting you clicks and it's getting you purchases, then you're like, fire. But if it's just getting you a bunch of clicks and spending all your budget and it's not even getting you a sale, then you need to remove that listing, that specific keyword, because that is just never going to get you a sale. So you got to always be looking when you're in an ad. It's like, first of all, is pick the best 3 products you have at the moment, or the ones you want to test, and you can always increase the budget, right? And anytime you want, but $5 or $1, whatever you want to run, you will never run $5 on Facebook for 200 products, but in Etsy, you see it all the time, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And always look what keywords are eating your budget. When you have that, and when you tweak that, you start seeing sales. And then you start seeing that the Etsy ads can be really good at it, but a lot of people don't bother to go and drill down on every single one of the listings that are going into the ads, and then looking into those things. Then you see like, oh, this shirt, you spend me $3 out of the budget with no sales. This is a loser. No, most likely it's a keyword that is a loser. And if those keywords are not doing, then you have to tweak the image. Probably it's the image, or probably something. You're an ad and you're not getting clicks, then probably your image is not the one that is not being appealing, to the audience, and it's time to switch it and change it. So changing your images can increase a lot of opportunity on sales, but a lot of people don't even bother even making a mock-up on Etsy. Etsy is a very to the eye marketplace.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mostly female, they are attracted to what they see. And most people just go and say, okay, I'm going to use Printful, and I'm going to use the mockup that comes from Printful, and that is the mockup that I am going to do, everything with. And no, it doesn't work like that. First of all, every single image on Etsy, it's horizontal. Okay, which is the opposite of what the images are on Shopify. And Shopify, everything is either square or vertical.
Yeah.
So every single print-on-demand supplier creates vertical images.
Yeah.
So when they go into Etsy, they get chopped because Etsy converts them into vertical. So you're gonna get only about 45 to 60% of the image actually being shown in your main image. Secondary, tertiary images, who cares? It's the first image that's gonna go in your listing into the search query has to be horizontal. Yeah. And it has to literally be a walking billboard, of the things that are offered inside the listing.
Yeah. So when you're testing your lead images, do you flip them out on the fly while the ad's still running? Do you just do that and let the ad carry on?
Yes.
Yeah.
It used to be an app that for some reason got discontinued. I guess people in Etsy were not ready for that app. But it was a very amazing app that used to literally do A/B testing for the images. And it was super cheap. It was like $10 a month, and it would literally switch the images, based on in a formula that you will enter. But they discontinued it, and I don't know, because probably Etsy sellers were not into A/B testing yet, and there were probably people not using it. It was probably way ahead of their time. But it was the purpose, right? Is to, okay, let me see which is the image that gets the sales, and then you will be like, okay, this is the one I want to use. But yes, I usually change the images when I see that it's okay. They're not getting I'm getting views. If I'm getting views, it's because my keywords are working, right? If I'm not getting clicks, is my image is not getting the job done. So it's time to change the image. Now you're getting views and clicks, and you're not selling. It's probably price or something else. So you have to. It's always something. So you just have to figure it out what it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, Fernando. Yeah, I'll have a quick look at these comments and see.
That's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people saying hello. Dixon, Peter Grant, Murray, Patty, Gio.
Hello, Patty.
Yeah, I guess. How you doing, guys? Okay, so Joe saying on printables, there's no shipping and packaging. Yeah. Buy, release, download. Just actually, Fernando, I've got a question here. Like when you deliver your downloads, you always deliver a PDF, do you, with a download link in it?
I upload everything to Etsy, so they get a download. Some of them are in PDF, some of them are on SVG, some of them are on PowerPoint. It depends on what you're selling at the time. But they get it automatically downloading there. I don't use those apps that you can customize and stuff like that. I know I could increase my sales, but I don't have the time to do so. There are so many that you can use, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I was just wondering that myself. A couple of people saying about the renewing the listings. Good. Relist, increase the price. Okay, so is there a tool or an application that you use to research your Etsy SEO, or a favorite tool? That's from Josie.
Well, the one that I tell people to use the most is it was eRank. It's eRank.
Yeah.
eRank.
Yeah.
I honestly always tell people that I work with only to pay for the tool for like the first 2-3 months. After that, it gets repetitive, and honestly, you don't use it.
Yeah.
The free version gets you pretty much what you need to do. I said to pay for the first 2-3 months because you get to learn and kind of like get into the how to do it. And once you know how to do it, to be honest, I don't think I have logged into Etsy, into eRank probably in 6 months, because now I just go with it. But when you're starting, probably eRank will be probably the best.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, because I mean, Etsy hopefully will tell you what you're looking for. Dick Irvine, I'm at a crossroads with Etsy. Selling better ROI on Redbubble than Etsy based on organic traffic. Redbubble, less work involved. Struggling with Etsy. So yeah, it is something that I hear a lot, Fernando. Basically, you've probably pretty much covered it. Struggling with Etsy, working for me at the moment. It's getting views and clicks, but no sales. So really, what you've gone over there exactly. The image is probably good. Perhaps the keywords are wrong.
Well, if you're getting views, first we need to know, okay, what keyword is the one that is getting you the views, right? If the right keyword is giving you the views and you're getting clicks on it, if you're getting, what is the click ratio, right? You're getting a 3% click ratio on views, then you're pretty much, on target. Well, actually, it's 3% conversion, what you should be looking at. So you should be getting about 10% click ratio or something like that. But if you're not getting enough clicks per amount of views, then is your image or probably your price is scaring them from even clicking on it. So you may be now in Etsy, free shipping and discounts are king. Okay, if you're doing print on demand, you have to have discounts, and even in digital, you have to have discounts. I mean, you can offer free shipping on Printables because there is no shipping literally. But Etsy has been training every single body, by TV ads and everything, that we have free shipping, and so everybody goes, and now when you go into Etsy and you search for something, you say, give me everything that has free shipping and is on sale. Yeah, so if you're on those, you're gonna show on those search results. So if you're not on those, you are gonna be, you're gonna be a huge disadvantage. The way to do it is, literally use bump the price at the price of shipping to your cost, and then use list it. I mean, everybody is selling that way now. And for the sale, what I do is that I use an app called, my lord, I forgot the name. Joel, no, it's not Joel Lister. It will come to me. But it's an app that it's free, and I can use say like, okay, I'm gonna put my store on sale for 15% off. It's okay. Then I'll bump the price for 15%, or actually it's a different number. You have to do my calculations. But I increase my price on my listing for, let's say, 10%, and then I give it in my store at 15% off. And I'm still making the same money. I'm literally selling at the same price that I was always selling, and my store is always on sale, but it's never the same sale. My store is, let's say from Friday to Sunday, it's at 25% off, and then on Monday it's at 15% off. Then I have a different sale on another day, and my sales never last more than 3 days. So I always have to constantly be creating different sales, because it creates a scarcity, right? I mean, most customers on Etsy are not going to be checking what you're selling this product on Wednesday. They want to buy it this weekend, but they want to know, okay, it's on sale. So having the store on sale, consistently, it allows you to be in the search results for sale, and having free shipping allows you to be in the search results for free. And if people ask for the two, you get on shop on both. Another problem that a lot of people make when they come from print on demand is that print on demand companies give you the 999 inventory. So when people go to your store, they're like, it's not on sale, it's not on free shipping, and it has 1,000 items available. There is zero scarcity, on your store. So they say, oh, I can come back in a month and they will still have that. I'll wait for them when they come on sale. Guess what? They're never going to come back, because in a month they're not going to remember you. So you always have to create a scarcity, by giving them, so, okay, the sale ends now, and I only have like 5 items left, so you have to, my Lord, what is the name of that app? I always recommend that app. I don't know how to find it right now, because my Lord.
Yeah, I like that.
It's early, dude. It's early.
I like that though, Fernando. Like we've run sales for 1 month at a time, but it totally makes sense. A 3-day sale or 2-day sale, because the sale is literally always ending. And limiting the numbers, even though it's a digital download.
And I don't know how to find that app, because my Lord, I'm always talking about this app, and I'm not gonna remember it today. It's not.
You can shoot it to me after, Fernando. I can put it in the description. Like, okay, we got one here from Patty as well, Fernando.
Yeah.
You are the Shopify expert. Would you recommend Shopify over Etsy, and what products do you find are selling the best?
Not necessarily. I mean, I believe that if you are new to the market and you have no idea how to market something, I rather you start on Etsy, because
for beginners,
doing the customer service, customer support, having to deal with, creating a good standing website, installing Facebook pixels, installing Google Analytics, going through all these processes of creating a customer, installing Klaviyo and all this stuff can be extremely overwhelming and quite expensive for some people. Because we know a Shopify store can work as is, but only for for the first few customers, right? After that, you need to start really adding apps here and here and here before you realize your Shopify store is at $150 a month, and you are spending a bunch of ads and no sales, and warming up that pixel and stuff like that. So I rather go into brand recognition website like like Etsy, use their their customer base, test your product, see how people react to it, and once you have at least a few winning products that people are consistently buying, now okay, you know what, I have social proof that this product is being bought. I have some testimonials that I can actually move into my my Shopify store, because and now you can take those. I mean, those are testimonials given to your brand, right? So you can go into Shopify. You're not really cheating as long as you keep the same name. That's customer service was given. So you can now create a Shopify store in a couple of months later that it has all the credibility. You have more experience. You know what it's going to sell. You will be more confident to run an ad on a specific product that that people have been consistently buying on another platform. And also, you will be used to winning. There is nothing worse than when you go and open a Shopify store and sales don't come, and you get into the, I will never gonna make it, and and then you realize you close your store because it wasn't as exciting as you thought it was ever going to be.
That's it. I think each one has its place, really, doesn't it? But Etsy's great for testing, basically, and then move into Shopify.
Get Bella. Yeah, yes. Getbella.com.
Yeah,
it's a free app.
Yeah, Aaron, I just was going to read that before Aaron posted it. It's a good one because I'm sure you've seen this. Any issues with Etsy shutting down your shop? I know loads of people have been banned from Etsy. You any advice on that, or even getting back on if you have been banned?
You're banned.
Yeah.
Etsy is not the type of marketplace that you are banned. You're banned. They don't really care. If it was for the right reason or not the right reason. If they decide that you are not meant to be there, it's like, it's like, yeah, that's it. No more. So yes, they are not as difficult as Amazon. In terms of trademarks and stuff like that, but they are, they still look for trademarks, and and I know a lot of people think that because other people are stealing Disney and Star Wars and Marvel and stuff like that, they can. No, you cannot. They just haven't been caught. And eventually they will. And when they will lose it. I was just talking to a friend, that owns a print on demand facility. Now he's not one of those one are known. He actually prints for other, big companies, and he's telling me, you know what, we are actually now getting more picky also on, trademarks and trademark and copyright products, because we share the liability. So like talking about Printify is like, Printify, it's not paying attention to what goes through their system, and it's saying like, yeah, they're sending things to our trademark and we are rejecting them now, and we're gonna have to start. They have started banning, users from using their platforms because they are abusing the trademarks, and because if you upload something on Printify and Printify prints it, or Printful or whoever prints it, and let's say Harley Davidson comes and it's like, okay, who was involved in the process? All of them are equally liable. You are, they are, and everybody else. And they will not be interested in suing you because you're a small fish, but because you made them, print it, and they are not a small fish. They're gonna say, okay, we're gonna do a lawsuit no 3, and they're gonna destroy you, and they're gonna get a huge amount of money out of those guys. So now they're getting more, they're paying more attention, to these things. So it's going to be more difficult to go through that. So it's not, you don't even have to worry now about Shopify or worrying about, Etsy, but now you have to also worry about the print on demand supplier saying, hey, we are not going to print this junk. And Shopify, it has also been, shutting down stores for trademark infringements. So you're not even safe there. So
don't do it, basically. I actually got caught myself a few years back doing NFL stuff, and man, it was a silly thing to do. I got totally banned on Facebook, and it really messed me up, and I don't do it now. Okay, one here from Murray. With $25 ad budget on Etsy, do you suggest at most advertising 10 to 20 products? Do you always advertise newly listed products?
It depends what I'm doing. Like when it was the face mask, I was spending $300 a day, on ads, in Etsy. It was like a 2-week period where it was like, the Wild Gold West. It was awesome. And I literally had only one product in listing, and it was literally a blank canvas, a blank mask, not design, just a blank mask, and it was selling like crazy. So to answer that question is, yeah, 10 products may be good, but at the end of the day is like which one is selling. Don't be afraid during the day. You can start with 20, but as the day goes, you can start dropping products out of the listing. Say, okay, out, and then with 3 at the end of the day. I like if a product is selling with ads, I leave it in with the ad. I always leave that one that is selling, even if it's a year old, it stays in the ad. It helps me with 2 things. First, it helps me with sales in my store. Even if it's money on my store, who cares? It's money in the store. But it also helps me with volume with my suppliers, because suppliers, the more volume you sell, the better price they give you. So I don't care if it's a product that I break even, but it sells me a few units a day, or dozens units a day. It adds at the end of the month to those numbers, which gets me better pricing, which makes me more money on the other products where I am not, having a loss leader or a break-even point. So you have to always be looking at your suppliers and what is the thresholds on what you can do to get better pricing from them. So that is one thing. So one thing about $25 budget is that Etsy, what it does is that sometimes the $25 budget would never be spent because nobody's clicking on that crap, right? Okay. Sometimes $25 can last 2 hours. Now, the thing is with Etsy is that Etsy, when you wake up in the morning, Etsy is like 2 o'clock in the morning, boom, new day. And he's like, okay, who got the money? And he's like, okay, these people the money, let's just spend it, and they start spending money. They're not like Facebook that they parade your money. They are like, okay, we're gonna show a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And you tell them $25 a day, it means spend it throughout the day. And Etsy is like on your mark, set, go. And it's like you have 25, sometimes by 7 a.m. in the morning, your budget is completely gone. So in Etsy, you have to start with, here's a little money, and then budget is off, wait a little bit, here's a little bit of money, a little bit of money, a little bit of money, a little bit of money. I never start my ads until like 7 in the morning or later. Nobody's buying at night in ads, okay? When they're like 12 a.m. to 7 a.m., people are either drunk or they are having insomnia. They're just going through your ads and wasting your money. Usually when people go to work is when they buy something, and people during lunch. But usually you realize, and you start looking at this strategy, your ad spend gets cheaper as we go towards the night, because by the time a lot of people are out of budget, so when we got into that area time, it's like, okay, all these people that Etsy eat all their budget, they don't know about this, they have no money. And then you go at the end of the day, and it's like you're just competing with yourself, and a few others are, like the ones that they never got clicks now are selling because they are like now there, or the ones that at the budget. You do this in Facebook, you kill the ad, right? You cannot go on Facebook and add money to the budget. It destroys the ad conversion. But you in Etsy, you just add money to the budget, and it doesn't affect it absolutely. It just goes in, okay, hey, more money, okay, let's spend it. So it's try to do that.
Yeah, right. So timing is important as well. Okay, what else we got? People talking about I saw somebody ask about the image. What's the optimal image dimensions for your lead images? Do you remember off the top of your head? Because you can. I don't think the recommended one is the best to use.
Yes, give me 1 second.
Here we go, Dick.
I know I have this in my group, so it's me. because somebody just asked me that question yesterday, so I just have to go to my group.
I don't think that what they recommend is the best dimension. Weirdly enough, same for the header, like
3000 by 2400 pixels.
Right, brilliant. Thanks, Fernando.
Yeah, 3000 by 2400 pixels is the way that the horizontal image has to be for the main image. The rest don't matter because those are the ones into carousel. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. All right. Well, if anyone else has got any questions, drop them in because we'll probably wrap up pretty soon. Another question I got, Fernando. Have you ever got it up to $1,000 a day ad spend?
Netsy, no. The maximum is 300. And they don't even let you at the beginning. I think at the beginning you have like $50, and when you go to 50, they said, okay, we will give you 75, and then it's 100, then it's 200, and once they spend it, they look into your status and they increase you. But I think right now everybody's the default is 50. So, and believe me, and when I stopped using the 300, they dropped me back to 200, and then dropped me back to 100, and then they dropped me back to 50. So it's super weird. But yes, the maximum I did is $300 a day. But I was making, I mean, it was when like they said you can sell masks, and like Mark said, go. It's like
yeah. So you've got some training on printables as well. So if anybody, do you want to say anything about your training on printables, or I'll put the link in the description if anybody wants to check you out. But
I mean, it's a training, and I mean, there are trainings on printables in the internet, right? If you have never done print on demand, there are probably some others that are probably going to be better than mine. Every training that I do is based on the premise that I teach print on demand people how to do money in different ways. So my training is from the print on demand perspective, that we will have a bunch of designs that we have been doing this. A lot of my audience also does KDP books on Amazon. So it's a lot of, focus on, on all these stuff. To be honest, doing printables to me is way easier than doing print on demand products. To me, the profits are pretty much the same. After all things said and done, to me, it's about the same. It's going to look like you're making a lot less money, but it's pretty much all profit, right? Because, I mean, selling a thing for $3.99 may not sound as glamorous, but you only pay Etsy about 10% in fees, and the rest is yours. When you sell something for $15.99 or $20, sounds a lot better, but you remove all the costs and shipping and all the fees. The fees are bigger because it's the bigger, is more sales price. So if you can get your mindset out of the, it's less money in printables, you will see that. Now you start looking at Etsy, you go to the top sellers, you will see that it's always at least 1 to 2 stores or printables are in the top 5 every single day. It is a lot. It is a lot of money to be made on printables. So the course is like literally start from zero, and how to open a Etsy store correctly, how to set it up, and then we have a section, on specifically, how to make digital products and how to upload them, and and everything that is in there. But I also have, once on Etsy for print on demand exclusive is specifically print on demand for Etsy, which you also have the link for that. And other courses that we have as well.
Yeah, great, Fernando. Yeah, well, I'll put that in the description, so if anyone wants to check you out, they can. Actually, Fernando, have you ever hit page 1 for any of your listings? Out of curiosity,
I think everybody does. At some point or another. It is not. I mean, what Etsy has is this weird rule that you could have the 10 best sellers, but they can only show up to 3. Right. They have this mentality of equal opportunity for, so even if you have a bunch of good sellers, they're only going to show 3 of yours in your first page because they want to give they say it that they want to give the customers the experience to see more variety of products, which is the dumbest thing, right? Because you have the 10 best sellers, it means that people are liking them, but they want to they frame it like that. So you never really know which is which. and everybody gets first page, when you're newly listed. So the one thing I say is, before you go live in your product, make sure that your product is complete. Everything, the keywords are right, everything is perfect. The moment your listing goes live, it goes into your newly listing algorithm. And that's what you hear a lot of people say, oh my God, I just listed my product about 10 minutes ago and I made a sale. Yes, everybody has the same opportunity. It's just, it just goes and boom, and shows, and your listing is completely undone. You're not going to be found, and you waste that opportunity. A lot of people make money in the first, and you make a sale in those first couple of hours. You have a nice chance to continue because now Etsy knows, like, oh my God, we got a winner, right? And so always go with your listing when it's totally completely done, go live. Otherwise, don't do it. You waste a huge opportunity of making money right away. And it can last, an hour to 5 hours, depends on when you go live. I like to go live when it's, kind of like a rush hour, because, when people are buying. Going live at 2 a.m. in the morning, when you are about to sleep and you say, okay, I'm going to go list some products, but nobody's buying. So you're going to be in the first page, for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But you're going to sell absolutely nothing because nobody is buying. So
yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks so much, Fernando. Man, you've done some great tips there. Really appreciate you coming on, mate. Hopefully, you can come on again another day. So yeah, I'll end out. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, and have a good day.
Yeah.